Well, the state of Idaho holds the 8th smallest Jewish population in the United States, but the history of Judaism in the Gem State goes much farther back than you may think. As tonight marks the 8th and final night of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah, we share a story you can only find right here on Local News 8. In chilly winters of Idaho, families across the state light candles for Hanukkah, an 8-day holiday celebrating a miracle of light over 2,000 years old. In a state with one of the smallest Jewish populations in the country, communities from Pocatello to the Wood River Valley keep traditions alive, blending ancient history with Idaho's mountainous spirit. The story begins in the Holy Land around 165 BCE, when a small group of Jews led by Judah Maccabee rebelled against Greek rulers who defiled their temple. Rabbi Sarah Goodman of Temple Emmanuel in Pocatello explains.
Judah Maccabee, who we think of as sort of the first Jewish superhero. So they sort of fled into the hills outside of Jerusalem. And this war against them was waged, an incredibly huge army. And then you just had this small group of Jews who just refused to not be Jewish.
What the rabbis wanted to do is to offer this holiday of light at the darkest time of year, but they factored in not just moonlight, but sunlight. So they found a time between the winter solstice and the coming new moon where you have the least amount of sunlight and the least amount of moonlight, and that's when Hanukkah occurs. And it's the idea of bringing light, bringing this miracle of our existence out to the world.
Jews have been part of Idaho's fabric since before statehood. Historian Ari Goldstein, whose family has deep roots in the Wood River Valley, traces the earliest arrivals to the 1860s gold rush.
The earliest recorded Jews that we have in Idaho are two gold prospectors. They came in winter 1861. Their names were Harrison and Haas. We only have last names, not first names, but gold had been discovered in Idaho in 1860, and people started to come from all over the West, trying to strike it rich.
Waves of immigrants followed, German Jews in the mid-1800s, then Eastern Europeans around 1900, often as merchants serving mining towns. Idaho boasts milestones like electing Moses Alexander, the first ever elected Jewish governor in the United States.
He was the very first elected Jewish governor. He was not the first governor. There had been a couple of territorial governors who were appointed, but he was the first democratically elected Jewish governor. And when that happened, it was really a big deal in the Jewish world. American Jewish newspapers across the country had big stories that a Jew could be elected governor in a state where there were hardly any Jews.
In Boise, Congregation Ahavith Beth Israel, the oldest synagogue in continuous use west of the Mississippi, was founded in 1895. Retired Rabbi Daniel Fink reflects on its legacy.
I was the first rabbi at the congregation. The congregation had existed 99 years, but they'd never had a resident rabbi. So, I got to work with the community and find a way to celebrate that fit for this community.
Today, Idaho's Jewish community numbers just under 6,000, making up just 0.29% of Idaho's population. In eastern Idaho, Temple Emmanuel, founded in 1923, serves a tight-knit group. Congregant Dale Spencer says being Jewish here requires commitment.
You have to want to be Jewish in Idaho because there's not many of us. This is not something that you can be on the side. When I was back east, there was enough Jews that if you wished to be identified as Jewish and not participate in any services, you could do that fairly easily. Out here, if you're identifying as Jewish, people are going to ask, well, you to go to services? Because there's so few of us that it will then guilt you into going if you don't go.
The stained glass at Temple Emmanuel holds a special meaning. It represents the sea, the land, and the sky, and a flame that represents the path of Judaism. The flame has breaks across the walls, showcasing the times in history where Jews were not allowed to practice, but the flames always reconnect and grow higher and higher until it reaches the top. As communities light their final candles for the 8th night of Hanukkah, they remember the vast history that has brought days' worth of light to a small community in Idaho.
Spirit and
in Pocatello. Max Gershon, Local News 8. It was awesome. So that last clip you saw there was actually the first night of Hanukkah down at Temple Emmanuel with Rabbi Sarah Goodman. And the cool thing about that, I thought, was, you know, there were Jewish people there celebrating Hanukkah, but there was a lot of people that were not Jewish, that just wanted to support their Jewish neighbors and celebrate and get to learn a little bit. So hopefully you learned a little bit as well watching that. And
it was a great informative piece.
Thank you. And it was thanks to everyone who helped put it together. So a lot of fun. All right.